Hello and welcome to another episode of Today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements regarding Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprise. It is a centrally sponsored scheme launched by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. It enables the existing individual micro food processing units to avail credit-linked capital subsidy at 35% of the eligible project cost for upgrading their units. So as we have to select the correct statement or statements, both are correct. The correct answer is option C. The Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprise is a central sponsored scheme with an outlay of Rs 10,000 crore. Ministry of Food Processing Industries, the nodal ministry for implementation of the scheme, and the expenditure under the scheme would be shared in 60:40 ratio between central and state governments, in 90:10 for northeastern and Himalayan states, and 60:40 for union territories with legislatures, 100% for UTs without legislatures. So existing individual micro food processing units desirous of upgrading their units can avail credit-linked capital subsidy at 35% of the eligible project cost with a maximum ceiling of Rs 10 lakh per unit. Initial funding of 40,000 rupees per self-help group member would be provided for working capital and purchase of small tools. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding Jallikattu. It is a competitive sport as well as an event to honor bull owners who reared them for mating. It is a sport conducted as a part of Mattu Pongal, so we have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. The correct answer is option C. With a steep rise in the daily cases of COVID-19, the district administration in Vellore, Tiruvannamalai, Ranipet and Tirupattur have banned the conduct of Jallikattu events ahead of Pongal events festival as part of safety measure. A tradition over 2000 years old, Jallikattu is a competitive sport as well as an event to honor bull owners who reared them for mating. It is a violent sport in which contestants try to tame a bull for a prize. If they fail, the bull owners win the prize. It is a popular sport in Madurai, Tiruchirappalli, Theni, Paddukottai and Dindigul districts of Tamil Nadu, known as Jallikattu Belt. It is celebrated in the second week of Joranyas as a part of Mattu Pongal. Jallikattu is considered a traditional way for the peasant community to preserve their pure-breed native bulls. Conservationists and peasants argue that Jallikattu is a way to protect their main animals, which are otherwise used only for meat if not plowing. Kangayam, Pulikulam, Umbalecheri, Bargur and Malai Madhu are among the popular native breeds of cattle for Jallikattu. The owners of these premium breeds command respect locally. Consider the following statements. The National Register of Citizens was published only once in 1951. The Constitution does not define the term citizen. Details of various categories of persons who are entitled for citizenship are given in Part 2, Article 5 to 11. So, as we have to select the correct statement. So, all the statements are correct. The correct answer is option D. The Ministry of Home Affairs did not notify the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 rules till the third extended deadline after the Act was passed. January 9 was the last day of an extension it sought from the two parliamentary committees in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha to frame the rules. The National Register of Citizens 1951 is a register prepared after the conduct of census of 1951. NRC was published only once in 1951. NRC of 1951 and the Electoral Roll of 1971 are together called the legacy data. A citizenship is listed in the Union List under the Constitution and thus is under the exclusive jurisdiction of the Parliament. The Constitution does not define the term citizen, but details of various categories of persons who are entitled to citizenship are given in Part 2. Consider the following statements. Orang National Park is located to the north bank of Beast River. It is also known as the Mini Kaziranga National Park. Orang National Park has the highest tiger density in India. So we have to select the correct statement. Second is correct, first and third is not. The correct answer is option B. The Assam government recently issued a parliamentary notification for adding 200.32 square kilometer to the 78.82 square kilometer Orang National Park. But what has enthused the wildlife expert is the prospect of reintroducing the gharial in the area to be called and added to Orang. The Orang National Park, also known as Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park, is located on the north bank of Brahmaputra River in the Darang and Sonitpur districts of Assam. It was established as a wildlife sanctuary in 1985 but was declared as a national park in 1999. It is also the 49th tiger reserve of the country, being notified in 2016. It is also known as Mini Kaziranga National Park since the two parks have a similar landscape made up of marshes, streams and grasslands. It is the only stronghold of rhinoceros on the north bank of the Brahmaputra River, and as per the latest round of tiger estimation carried out by the National Tiger Conservation Authority between January to March 2017, Orang's tiger density is 35.44 tigers per 100 square kilometers, and thus can replace Kaziranga National Park as a park with highest tiger density in the country. Kaziranga has the highest tiger density of 12.72 per 100 square kilometer in 2014. Moving on, consider the following statements. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is celebrated to commemorate the return of Mahatma Gandhi to India in 1915. The Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award is conferred to the institutions established by the overseas Indians. So we have to select the statement which is or are not correct. Both are correct. The correct answer is option D. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is celebrated on 9 January every year to mark the contribution of overseas Indian community in the development of India. 9 January was chosen as the day to celebrate PBD since it was on this day in 1915 that Mahatma Gandhi, the greatest Pravasi, returned to India from South Africa, led India's freedom struggle and changed the lives of Indians forever. On the occasion, several events such as PBD Convention, Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award and Bharat Ko Janiye Quiz are organized. PBD conventions are held once every 2 years. Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award is the highest honor conferred on a non-resident Indian, person of Indian origin, or an organization or institution established and run by non-resident Indians or persons of Indian origin who have made significant contribution in better understanding of India abroad, support India's causes and concerns in a tangible way, and community work abroad, welfare for local Indian community, philanthropic and charitable work. With reference to sulfur dioxide pollution, consider the following statements. The largest source of SO2 in the atmosphere is the burning of fossil fuels by power plants and other industrial facilities. There are no natural sources of sulfur dioxide pollution, and short-term exposure to SO2 can harm the human respiratory system and making breathing difficult. So we have to select the correct statement. Only the statement first and the third is correct. The correct answer is option C. The largest source of SO2 in the atmosphere is the burning of fossil fuel by power plants and other industrial facilities. Smaller sources of SO2 emissions include industrial processes such as extracting the metal from ore, natural sources such as volcanoes and locomotives, ships and other vehicles and heavy equipment that burn fuel with high sulfur content. SO2 can affect both health and environment. Short-term exposures to it can harm the human respiratory system and make breathing difficult. People with asthma, particularly children, are sensitive to the effect of SO2. Moving on, consider the following statements. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade is organizing the first ever Startup Indian Innovation Week. 2021 has been recognized as the year of unicorns with 40 plus unicorns added in the year. India is emerging as the global innovation hub, boasting the world's third largest startup ecosystem. So we have to select the correct statement. All of the three are correct. The correct answer is option D. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade is organizing the first ever Startup India Innovation from today to 16th of the month. The virtual week-long innovation celebration aims to commemorate the 75th year of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and it is designed to showcase the spread and depth of entrepreneurship across India. It will bring together the country's startups, entrepreneurs, investors, incubators, funding entities, banks, policymakers, and other national and international stakeholders. India is emerging as a global innovation hub, boasting the world's third largest startup ecosystem. DPIIT has recognized more than 61,000 startups as on date, and interestingly, in the startup world, 2021 has been recognized as the year of unicorns, with 40 plus unicorns added in the year. Padmapada, Tokata, Hasta, Malaka, and Sureshwara are. These are actually disciples of Adi Shankaracharya. So the National Monuments Authority Chairman Tarun Vijay last week met the Governor of Kerala, Arif Muhammad Khan, regarding the declaration of the birthplace of Adi Shankaracharya in the state as a monument of national importance. Adi Shankaracharya was born on 11th May 1788 AD at Kaladi near Kochi, Kerala, and he took Samadhi at the age of 33 at Kedar Teeth. He was a devotee of Shiva and propounded the doctrine of Advaita and wrote many commentaries on the Vedic canon. Those include Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, and Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. He was opposed to Buddhist philosophers and he was responsible for reviving Hinduism in India to a great extent, where Buddhism was gaining popularity. He established 4 mathas in the 4 corners of India at Sringeri, Puri, Dwarka, and Badrinath for propagation of Sanatan Dharma. He propounded Advaita Vedanta. It articulates a philosophical position of radical non-dualism, a revisionary worldview which it derives from the ancient Upanishadic texts. Of the large number of disciples who had delayed an inestimable privilege of serving the great Acharya Sri Shankara, Bhagavad Pada, 4 stand out prominent. Padmapada for intense devotion, Totaka for exemplary service, Hastamalaka for supreme self-realization, and Sureshwara for deep learning. Amidst the rising COVID cases and an impending third wave, which of the following states has prepared the country's first draft right to health law? The correct answer is option B, Rajasthan. At the time of COVID cases that are surging again due to the Omicron variant, the Rajasthan government has prepared a draft of the country's first right to health law. The bill will be introduced in the budget session of the State Assembly, likely to start in March after getting an approval of the State Cabinet. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot in the 2021 budget announced that the state will provide the right to health to all. He had also announced a universal healthcare scheme worth Rs 3,500 crore, under which every family in the state would get medical insurance benefits up to Rs 5 lakh. It defines the rights of patients, their attendants, and healthcare providers, and it also provides for a mechanism to redress grievances of the stakeholders. The 26th of December every year will be celebrated as Veer Bal Divas, and we have to consider the following statements in this context. This is to commemorate the martyrdom of Sahibzada Zorawar Singh Ji and Sahibzada Fateh Singh Ji. They were the sons of Guru Arjan Dev, as we have to select the correct statement. First is correct, second is not. Option E will be the correct answer. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing the public on the auspicious occasion of Guru Gobind Singh Jayanti on January 9, 2022, declared that starting this year, 26 December, shall be marked as Veer Bal Divas. Veer Bal Divas will be observed on the same day Sahibzada Zorawar Singh Ji and Sahibzada Fateh Singh Ji attained martyrdom after being sealed alive in a wall. The Sahibzadas were the 4 sons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji who sacrificed their lives in an important battle against the Mughals. The names of them are Sahibzada Ajit Singh, Sahibzada Jujhar Singh, Sahibzada Zorawar Singh, Sahibzada Fateh Singh. The Sahibzadis were initiated into the Khalsa, which is an elite warrior group created by Guru Gobind Singh in 1699 to protect the innocent from the religious persecution, and all 4 Sahibzadas were executed by Mughal forces before the age of 19. Sikhism honors the martyred sons of Guru Gobind Singh in the Ardas prayer as Char Sahibzade, the 4 princes of the Khalsa warrior order. Consider the following statements with respect to National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. It was constituted under Section 410 of the Companies Act 2013. It can also hear and dispose of appeals against any direction issued on decision made or order passed by the Competition Commission of India. So we have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. Answer is option C. Amazon has filed a legal challenge at the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal against the Competition Commission of India's suspension of the US e-commerce giant's 2019 dealing with future retail. It was constituted under Section 410 of the Companies Act 2013 for hearing appeals against the orders of the National Company Law Tribunal. NCLAT is also the appellate tribunal for hearing appeals against the orders passed by the NCLTs under Section 61 of the IBC 2016. It is also the appellate tribunal for hearing appeals against the orders passed by the IBC of India under Section 202 of the Section 211 of the IBC. It is also the appellate tribunal to hear and dispose of appeals against any direction issued or decision made or order passed by the Competition Commission of India. Moving on to the practice question, consider the following. The provision would provide for one law for the entire country applicable to all religious communities in their personal matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption. The above description most appropriately is related to which of the following DPSP. So we have to select the correct statement. Now that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another set of questions. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.